It's time to cash in, but in order to do so, you must be in the know. That's our job. That's his job.
My job.
That's your job. Welcome to Fantasy Move Makers. So glad to have you with us. Lauren Shehadi alongside Eric Mack. And this first guy we're talking about, when you read the posts on our sites, they're calling him a godsend. Very hot. And we're talking about Juan Rivera. He's batting .351. Is he going to get cold at some point, Mack? I think they want to know.
We figured there would be a market correction and a regression to the mean, but Juan Rivera is so hot right now. He's getting to the day that we're going to have to just say he is this good. It's taken a while after his devastating leg injury a few years ago, and now that power is coming through. He looks like a 30-homer candidate, a must-start in all leagues. And then further down this list, you have Colby Rasmus. You know, that had that hiatal hernia, but that's corrected, and he looks like an NL Rookie of the Year candidate. Paul Konerko, 3 homers the other day. He looks like he's having a rebound year with his contract due in a couple years. Luke Scott, 7 RBIs. Mark Rzepczynski just got called up, and then we got Scott Hairston.
Scott Hairston, I want to talk about him just a little bit. 11 homers on the year. Look at those numbers. Can we see that graphic, Matt? Goodness gracious, Mack.
Yeah, Scott Hairston, that power is coming, and he's going to get full-time at-bats with the A's. They sorely need a full-time outfielder with pop, and Scott Hairston, they acquired him for that. He's going to be there for a while, and then Matt Holliday might get traded. So Scott Hairston's going to be a full-time guy, and then AL-only leagues, I think you're going to get good run out of Scott Hairston.
So you're looking at those guys. You're adding these next guys. Ricky Romero on that list. 5 or more strikeouts in each of his last 7 starts, stifling good teams, Eric.
Yeah, Ricky Romero looks like a Rookie of the Year candidate in the AL. He looks like he's trustworthy in all fantasy leagues. His ownership has risen to 83%. It might even go up over 90, and I think you can trust him. Martin Prado takes over at second base. Ryan Sadowski, 2 shutouts in his first 2 starts. Randy Wells, 4 consecutive wins. A lot of hot guys on that list, especially the rookies like Brett Anderson shutting out the Red Sox in Fenway Park.
You're going to definitely trust him. You aren't going to trust Chris Davis. Why? Because he's not playing in the big leagues.
Right.
Basically.
Chris Davis is struggling. He's one of those guys that is going one direction, and his teammate in AAA, Justin Smoke, is going in the other direction, getting called up to AAA. They're going to share time at first base and DH. Those two are going to see who can get hot in the next few weeks and be the second half option at those 2 spots for the Rangers down the stretch. That's a good contending team. And then in the most dropped list, Nieve, he has struggled in the Mets rotation. He might even be out of the Mets rotation if they want to go to Jonathan Neese, or then after the All-Star break, perhaps John Maine again. Juan Pierre has lost his job. Rick Porcello's getting shut down through the All-Star break to save the innings on his arm, like we said. And Randy Johnson, he might be out 6 to 8 weeks.
I want to talk about an interesting fantasy situation. I'm talking about Grady Sizemore. Sore elbow. His numbers are great.
Yeah.
As a fantasy owner, do you shut him? Do you think he's going to shut down early? Would you prepare for that? What do you do with him?
Well, the Indians are out of the race, and Grady Sizemore does have an elbow that needs surgery. I tend to think that he could wait on this surgery as long as it's not Tommy John surgery. If it's Tommy John surgery, he's going to have to shut it down in August, perhaps to be ready for the next season. So that's a possibility, and if you have him, you want to deal him, get what you can while he's hot.
What do you do with Cole Hamels? A lot of people are kind of jumping off the bandwagon, but it's Cole Hamels. He's 5-5 on this season, but the Phillies are going to get hot again.
Oh, yeah. Their offense is going to blow up, and those people jumping off the Cole Hamels bandwagon is doing it too soon. Cole Hamels is a guy that can win 10 starts in the second half. The Phillies are going to get hot. J-Roll is starting to roll. You know, he's the #1 most traded guy here. He's another guy that's going to have a correction in the second half. And then I think Soriano is going to get hot as well. Santana and the Mets, with David Wright also on that list, I'm not so sure. The players aren't coming back. Carlos Beltran, Jose Reyes, Carlos Delgado, they're going to be out a month longer perhaps. So that's real bad news for those guys, Wright and Santana. They need help.
Tough time for the Mets. Tough time for Mets fans. Thank you, Mack. Thank you for watching Everything Fantasy Baseball. You know where to go. We'll see you soon.